Welcome, pharmacy colleagues, to Winn-Dixie Advance, our district's video outlet for MTM training videos right here on YouTube. In this video, we're going to take a step-by-step look at creating a user account in Outcomes. And after viewing the video, please visit Outcomes and create your account if you haven't done so already, so that your name will populate as a user and I'll be able to see it to know that you've successfully created your account. So let's get right into it. The first thing you will need to do is go on to any computer with internet access and open a browser window. Here I have Google up, but you can use any browser you like. You can either type Outcomes MTM in the search box, or just type into the top URL box outcomesmtm.com like it looks here. Now this is the screen you're going to see first, and at the top right side there's a place to log in for existing users and a place to create a new account if you don't have one yet. So if you've never used Outcomes, click on the Create an Account link here. So this is the first page that you will come up, and it is the registration page where it asks for a little information about you, like your name, address, clinical role, etc. And you'll notice the box labeled Employee ID and that it says Optional. Well, different pharmacy chains require different fields, but this is not optional for our group. You must put your employee ID number in here. And the reason why is that if you don't, there will be no verifiable documentation to give you credit for your own work. Now, not providing your number doesn't allow any person's activity or inactivity to remain unseen. It's just that it's going to be easier to document that you did a task that you actually did when it was actually completed, instead of giving credit to another person in your pharmacy. Here's where you will create your own username and password and select your own security questions if you ever forget your password and need help signing back in. Although you don't have to use your email address as your username, your email address actually is the easiest to use and remember, because even if you left the company and went to work for another pharmacy, say 2 years from now, and you had to log on from there, you would have to still use the same account. You can't create multiple accounts in Outcomes. So it's really just easiest to use your email address so you can remember it. Now, notice the password requirements here. Now, this does not mean your username has to meet these requirements. This is just for your password. It has to be 8 or more characters, one of which must be a capital letter, one must be a number, and one must be a special character. And I know people sometimes have trouble with these because when the passwords need to be changed every 3 months or 6 months or whatever, it's easy to forget what your password is. So it's helpful if you get a good password, you can just remember the base name and then let the number fall at the end of the password. So when you need to update it, you don't have to change and remember a whole new password, but you can just change the number at the end. Like, say, if you chose the password Black Box 1 kind of name, you can kind of remember Black Box pretty easily. And you have your special character as the A, and then when it's time to change your password, because it expires, you can just change it to Black Box 2. You know, something like that. All right, so anyway, that's all there is to the registration page. And then you'll see a box at the bottom. It says Submit. Just click Submit and your profile and user account will be created. So then the next time and every subsequent time you log back into Outcomes, you will see this box just type in your username and password and then click the login button on the bottom. Now, if you have forgotten your username or password that you created, you can just click forgot username or forgot password, and it will either send you an email to give you the username or ask you your security questions if you forgot your password. Okay, so once you are successfully logged in, this is the site's landing page or home page. It's also called the dashboard page in Outcomes. So if you look at the 5 tab links in the top gray section, you'll notice that the word dashboard is kind of lighter gray with a red line under it. This means you're looking at that page, the dashboard page. So the first thing we're going to do is look way up at the top right corner where there are 2 links with down arrows next to each of them. The first link is the pharmacy account information that the site is set to, and the second link is the user account information, which would be your information. So when you log on, it will default to the pharmacy you work at with you as the user. So let's see what is accessible under these 2 links, starting with the user account. There's a link that says My Profile, a link for account security, a link for Manage Pharmacies, a link for Switch Roles, and a link to log out. And this is where you would log out from anywhere you are at in the system working. So when you click on My Profile, it takes you to the same registration screen that had your name and address and role, remember? And this is accessible after you've created your account so that if you ever needed to change any of your information later, you can do it here. And remember that your employee ID number also needs to be appearing here, so if you missed it somehow, be sure to type it in. And then when you are done changing anything you needed to modify, just scroll down to the bottom and click Save Changes at the bottom of the page. And if it saves correctly, you will see this yellow or gold bar appear across the screen to tell you that it saved correctly. All right, so from the main dashboard page again, let's look at what's under the account security link. This is where you can change your password or security questions at any time. And then again, scroll down to the bottom of the page and click Save Changes. Now, really the only other link that most of you are going to ever use that's in this user account tab is, again, the log out link. So just remember where it's at here. Now let's switch gears and look at the links in the pharmacy account tab. This will show you the pharmacy information you are linked to, the pharmacy's NPI number, phone number, and address. Very few of you will be using the Switch Pharmacies link, but just in case you float at other pharmacies and have been set up to link with other pharmacies, you can actually go here to switch the pharmacy view to have all the information in the database for the patients that are at the pharmacy that you are currently working for that day. You just click on the link and this box will appear, and if you were linked with other pharmacies, you can choose other pharmacies that are in that drop-down list. Now, if you were linked to many pharmacies, it would look something like this. And then you could just click on whichever pharmacy it is that you're working at that day. And of course, if you were working with a lot of the pharmacies, you might have to use the arrow screen to scroll down to see more. But like I said, very few of you will be using this link. So, okay, congratulations. You now know how to create your outcomes profile, and you know where to change or modify your user information or passwords, and even change the pharmacy account you're working with if you are linked to multiple pharmacies. So that is it for this video. The next video to watch is Outcomes Navigating the Dashboard.